Hello everyone, my name is Miss Lenita Raut. I am working in RJSPM Institute of Pharmacy, Udurgaon, Moshi, Pune. So, in today's topic, we will discuss about epidemiology. This presentation, what are the learning outcomes? So, it includes history of epidemiology, then definition of epidemiology, its uses, factors responsible for the spread of communicable disease, then modes of transmission of infection, and the last is applications of epidemiology. First is the history of epidemiology. The history of epidemiology has its origin in the ideas goes back to 400 BC. The father of medicine, the Hippocrates, he suggested that the environment and human behavior they both affects the health of a person. 20 years before the development of the microscope, Snow conducted studies of cholera outbreaks both to discover the cause of disease and to prevent its recurrence. Beginning in 1990s, after the terrorist attack of September 11 in 2001, epidemiologists have had to consider not only natural transmission of infectious organism but also deliberate spread through biologic warfare and bioterrorism. Next is the definition of epidemiology. The word epidemiology is derived from Greek words. Epi means among, demos means people, and logos means study. This means it is a study of distribution of disease or such a condition in a community. So there are number of definitions of epidemiology described by different authors, but the most suitable definition of epidemiology is that it is defined as the detailed scientific study of the distribution and determinants of disease or disability in society. Means earlier the term epidemiology was referred to only those communicable diseases which are used to spread in epidemic form. Epidemic form means the spread of disease or sudden outbreak of infectious disease spreads rapidly through population. Means it affects a person in a very short period of time. So the diseases like smallpox, cholera, plague, etc. But nowadays, epidemiological studies include communicable, non-communicable, and nutritional deficiency diseases. Is uses of epidemiology. Following are the major uses of epidemiology. First is to study the history of disease in relation to its rise and fall in community. Means by doing epidemiological study we can see the whether the spread is increasing or decreasing in a particular community. So second use is to study the role of agent, host and environmental factors in the spread of disease. So these three factors are important for the spread of disease, that is agent, host and environment. It helps in the study of types of disease in a community. So with the help of this epidemiological study we can study the different types of diseases. Then it also helps to find out the morbidity rate and mortality rate to identify those individuals or group at risk. Morbidity rate means the disease rate and mortality rate is the death rate. So we can find out the disease rate and death rate of individual. It helps in the research and experimental studies in the field of medical science. It also helps to predict the future trends of disease which will help to take preventive measures. Is factors responsible for the spread of communicable diseases. There are three factors which are responsible for the spread of a disease. These factors include agent, host, and environment. These three factors are known as epidemiological triad. If any of these factors is missing, then disease cannot occur in an individual host. These factors are described as: first is agent. Agent is the most important factor for the occurrence of disease. The disease agent include biological agent like bacteria, viruses, fungi, worms, insects, etc. Nutrients agents like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. And excess or deficiency of these nutrients may cause nutritional diseases. Third is physical agents like extreme hot and cold conditions affect the health of an individual. Then chemical agents like carbon monoxide, pesticides, fumes, dust, gases may cause illness by inhalation, ingestion or direct contact. Then mechanical agents like motor vehicle, machinery, etc. may cause injuries and fracture. This is all about agents. Second is the host. As we all know, who is the host? Man acts as a host. Sometimes animals also act as a host. So when pathogenic microorganism attacks to any individuals whose immunity is very low, so in that case the microorganism attack the host when the immunity is lost. So that is the defense mechanism. So the host related factors include age, sex, heredity, nutrition, occupation and habits. Next is environment. Environment plays a great role for the upkeep of health. So a healthy environment is crucial for the health and well-being of individual and communities. The environment may be favorable to host or to agent. Then the next, modes of transmission of infection. Infection may be transmitted from the reservoir to the host by the following methods: direct transmission and indirect transmission. Direct transmission involves direct contact, droplet infection, infected dust, animal bite, and transplacental transmission. Then indirect transmission involves vehicle borne, vector borne, and fomite borne transmission. So direct contact, the infection is spread without any intermediate host. Some diseases are spread from person to person by direct contact. The examples of diseases of direct contacts are diarrhea, dysentery, cholera, typhoid, syphilis, gonorrhea, and AIDS. The second is droplet infection. When a person is having a respiratory infection and he is when he coughs, sneezes, or talks loudly, fine droplets are thrown out which contains a large number of pathogenic microorganisms. So when these droplets are inhaled by the healthy person, he also get infected. This type of infection is known as droplet infection, which is the most common mode of transmission of disease. Third is infected dust. some of the droplets containing pathogenic microorganisms are expelled during talking, coughing, sneezing, and laughing by the diseased person. It will settle down on the articles like clothes, bedding, carpets, or on the floor and the other objects. So, when these droplets dry up over there, and during dusting, bed making, sweeping, the dust released into the air, which, if inhaled by the healthy person, it will infect them. Examples are fever, enteric fever, cholera, pneumonia, tuberculosis, and tetanus. Then animal bite. Some infections occur due to animal bite, example dog bite and snake bite. Then second, uh, last is transplacental transmission. Some disease agents may be transmitted from infected mother to the fetus through placenta. Examples includes hepatitis B, rubella virus, syphilis and AIDS, etc. Second type of transmission is indirect transmission. When the disease agent is transmitted from diseased person to healthy person through some substance like milk, water, insects or fomite, it is known as indirect transmission. Vehicle borne transmission, it is the most important type of transmission of infection, because the common vehicles like water, milk, food and blood products, they act as a vehicle through which the disease agent can be transmitted. Then vector-borne diseases. The vector-borne diseases include arthropod or any living organism that is transferring the infectious agent to the susceptible host. Then last is the fomite-borne. Fomites are nothing but the inanimate objects. They are capable of absorbing, retaining or transforming infection from one person to another. The articles which come in direct contact with the patient easily get contaminated with the disease agent and can spread disease to healthy person when they come in contact with such articles. The applications of epidemiology are infectious disease, environmental health, chronic disease, lifestyle and health promotion, psychiatric and social epidemiology, and the recent application of epidemiology are AIDS, breast cancer screening, smoking and lung cancer. So they are the recent applications of epidemiology. So with the fast urbanization and industrialization, there is an increased trend in the cases of various cardiovascular disease, mental and psychosomatic problem, occupational and industrial hazard accidents, etc. In such cases, epidemiological studies are carried out on the basis of which preventive and remedial measures are worked out to lessen the intensities of these problems. Then, slide of the presentation is what is the goal of epidemiologist. So the ultimate and the final goal of epidemiologist is to study various aspects of diseases and suggest measures for the eradication of the diseases and other problem as far as it is practicable, so as to lessen the sufferings of mankind. Of epidemiology,